but become part of the discussion right now. Become part of Colorado Public Television. So Kevin, controlled demolition, really, that's what it's all about. Blueprint for truth, that is exactly what it is about. Why is the controlled demolition hypothesis better than the official story and the official story hypothesis of how those buildings came down?
Well, one reason is that our government scientists spent 7 years trying to provide a non-explosive explanation for what happened to these buildings, and they were not successful. They did produce 3 reports for 3 buildings, but those reports are totally unscientific, and they are based entirely on computer models, which are not they're not able to share with us. Another reason is that
hey Kevin, we've got World Trade Center Building 7 coming down. We've got the comparison there. You can see how the World Trade Center 7 came down, and then there is an example of the of a controlled demolition. So you can see that right there on your screen.
Absolutely, World Trade Center 7 is critical because there were 2 planes, but those 2 planes brought down 3 skyscrapers, and all 3 of these buildings exhibited the characteristics of demolition. They fell suddenly and symmetrically and at near free fall acceleration. That can only happen if the structure below is removed, as is done with explosives in a demolition. Additionally, there were a lot of witnesses, eyewitnesses to explosions, flashes of light, and to molten metal. An important part of the evidence is this molten metal that was pouring from one of the buildings and was also flowing underground at ground zero. Some of the previously molten metal has been tested by independent scientists and found to chemically match the products of a thermite reaction. Additionally, nanothermite has been found in the World Trade Center dust, explosive nanothermite. That's one reason why 1,300 architects and engineers have signed onto a petition for a new investigation.
Well, right now we're going to see some of those great thank you gifts that you can expand your research about this topic on when you call that phone number on your screen and support independent public television.
Hi, my name is Eric Lawyer, and I'm the founder of Firefighters for 9/11 Truth. I've been in emergency services for over 22 years, and I've been a firefighter for 17 of those. I aggressively defended and supported the official story for many years. It wasn't until I really looked at the evidence again with a more objective viewpoint, and I actually went to the federal evidence, the Zacharias Moussaoui trial exhibits, and started looking at what do they have that prove that terrorists did this. And what I found so many discrepancies, and this was the largest loss of life in U.S. fire history. It was also the first time that 3 concrete and steel high-rise buildings had collapsed from fire. So we've never seen this before. It should have been the most thoroughly tested, overanalyzed fire scene in history. Sadly, it was not. And what I found was not only was it not thoroughly tested, but the evidence for Tower 7, which most Americans don't even know about, was completely destroyed before the investigation. They admit that themselves. We've never seen that in fire history. Even a house fire, we don't do that kind of destruction. So there has to be a reason they did it. And what I'm asking is for your viewers to look at this again, re-examine the evidence, and if you too find something wrong, take action and do something to get a true investigation that follows the national standards.
You are watching a special event right here on Colorado Public Television, Channel 12, all surrounding the program Loose Change. We're hoping you call the number at the bottom of your screen, 1-800-690-5234, because you are excited about having the discussion. It doesn't matter what side of the issue you are. It doesn't matter if you're right there in the middle of the fence. Channel 12 is your home for all voices. It's not easy. It's not cheap. It's only made happening because of your support. 1-800-690-5234. You're seeing on your screen right now some of the many ways we can thank you for your support. I'm here with special guest Leland Rucker. Now, Leland, you've done a lot of research on both sides of this, looking into it as a journalist. You read the official report from the government. What did you think of the report and how it related to some of the truth movement hypotheses?
There's a lot of people that don't like the report, but whether you like the report or not, it offers a crime. It offers solid evidence of that crime. It offers the means and the motive for that crime. What I haven't seen in the truther literature is an alternative idea that takes care of all the things that we saw, that answers all of those questions. So those are the kind of things that still bother me about that. I still have questions about that.
Well, sure, and I think that's very natural. What you're looking for is the complete story. Well, a nice little segue for us is you're getting the complete story right here in Channel 12 thanks to your support. We're bringing all voices to it. If you're looking for an echo chamber, you're not going to find it here on Channel 12. If you're looking for us to just hand you your opinion and then go about your happy little life, that's not going to happen here. You're going to stretch your mind when you watch Colorado Public Television, and that's not easy to provide. That's why we're coming to you right now to get your support. 1-800-690-5234. Be a part of this discussion. Maybe you like the official story, and then the truth movement is crazy. Give us a call. Maybe you're part of the truth movement saying, how could you believe the official story? You're nuts. Give us a call. This is the home for all voices, as long as you make that phone call and keep it happening. Sherry, back to you.
You can log on to cpt12.org, go to the Loose Change programming page. There'll be a description there. Click See More, and then that drops down. You can leave your comment. You can take a poll. That's right, we're taking a poll right now. Do you think that Channel 12 should air alternative theories, even if you don't agree with what Loose Change says? And you know, people say, how come you haven't aired a documentary on the official story? We're looking for one. We can't find one and secure it. There was an episode from The American Experience, also an episode from Nova that aired in the early 2000s. Those are no longer available. You can't even get the DVDs. So we're looking, and we're also offering some of the official side in our great thank you packages. At the $100 level, you could pledge for the 102 Minutes That Changed the World DVD, plus the Popular Mechanics book. In fact, we invited Jim Meigs, the editor of Popular Mechanics, to be with us, and his schedule didn't permit it. But you're with us right now, so go to the phone, make that call, invest in independent public television. Public media is where it's at right now. That is where your voice is heard. That's where your opinions are heard. That's what this whole event is about right now. So Kevin, I got to ask you, it is the question concerning controlled demolition. How on earth could the government or anyone have gotten those explosives into those towers and into World Building 7?
Well, there are a number of possibilities, and that includes the fireproofing upgrades that were done to the buildings, the towers, in the 2 years before 9/11. It also includes the elevator upgrades that were done in the buildings in the 9 months before 9/11. But if we had a real...
So that's because then people had access
right, they would
to
have
the
had
building.
access to the steel structures and be able to place explosives. But the real question, if we have a real investigation, the real question is, who specifically could have done this? And there are a number of possibilities. This includes, for example, if I were to cross-examine someone, it would include Paul Bremer, who was an executive of Marsh & McLennan, the company that occupied all of the floors of the North Tower impact zone. Paul Bremer was also a director in a company that had patented a thermite demolition device in 1996. And then later he became the Iraq occupation governor, so he benefited. After we invaded that country, he became the governor of Iraq. Another example is Marvin Bush, who was a director at the company that was security manager for the World Trade Center and Dulles Airport and United Airlines. So Marvin Bush was the president's brother, so obviously had connections to people who benefited, and I would cross-examine him if possible.
Well, we're showing you some website addresses up on our screen right now. There are some website references you can go to check out the official story. They're going to change the slide, and then you're going to see some websites that you can go to check out the alternative theory stories. These website references are also on our website at cpt12.org. We're helping you do your own investigation. We're kind of stirring it up here at Channel 12 because that's what we do. And too, Kevin, as I understand it, the call for an independent investigation from the Truth Movement has really been led by the victims' families.
It really is. They initiated the Truth Movement as well as the official investigations. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have had investigations.
And sometimes people say we're capitalizing on this loss, on this great tragedy. No, we're working with people from both sides to try to open up the discussion. Right now, we're going to go back in to see some of those great thank you gifts that you can receive when you call that number on your screen. So here you go.
America was hijacked on September 11, 2001. Not by Osama bin Laden and his al-Qaeda network with box cutters directed from a cave in Afghanistan, but by a group of tyrants ready and willing to do whatever is necessary to keep their stranglehold on the United States of America. A group beyond any one man or any one administration. Until there is a new investigation into the events, we will not go away. We will not be silent. Ask questions. Demand answers.
I do think Channel 12 should show alternative views about what happened in 9/11.
In fact, I think it's a responsibility. They're thought-provoking, to say the least.
The purpose of public television is to provide a level of truth.
Yes, I think Channel 12 should air the independent inquiry. However, I think that any independent inquiry should be properly justified with data and facts.
I believe that Colorado Public Television should give alternative views of what have happened. There are lots of alternative ideas. Public television is a great venue for that.
And what do you think about public television airing alternative theories about 9/11 and about a lot of different issues that surround us? You know, it's not unknown that 9/11 has really changed our lives and changed the world forever. And we're just trying to open the dialogue right now to all the folks who have called in. Thanks so much. And this is your opportunity right now to support a station that takes risks and that isn't afraid of airing opposing viewpoints and opening up the discussion and certainly wants to hear your viewpoint. So call right now, 1-800-690-5234. You can log on to cpt12.org. You can leave your comments there. Now is the time to do it. Let's get those phones ringing. Last break, they were just off the hook. We're here with Kevin Ryan, a 9/11 whistleblower. You know, Kevin, I think a question in so many people's mind is that why on earth would the American government have any motivation to be involved in an atrocity such as the events of 9/11?
Well, we might be able to begin answering that question by noticing that the wars that have come as a result of 9/11 have been focused on the seizure of natural resources. And if you remember, Dick Cheney had a secret energy task force when he first took office as vice president, but his report was secret, although we did find out that pages of that report included maps of Iraqi oil fields. Other responses to 9/11 were also in play before 9/11. That included plans to invade Afghanistan before 9/11. The Patriot Act was ready before 9/11. So these very important questions need to be asked about why were all those things in place? And when 9/11 happened, they just occurred. They just went into effect. Additionally, I think it's important for all of us who are Americans to understand that the Iraq War was based on lies about weapons of mass destruction. And in Iraq and Afghanistan now, nearly 7,000 American soldiers and coalition forces have been killed. That's more than twice as many as died on 9/11. Really, we need to get to the answers of why all of this has occurred. And in addition, you know, if it's such a difficult thing to ask these questions, then I'd really like to see people call right now and show their support for this great public television station, because I'm going home tomorrow to Indiana. I'd really like people to call. And because there's no other public television station in the country who has